Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dan, the voice behind ThatKaitoDan, and I'm here with some big news relating to RWBY and Blazblue Cross Tag Battle, the upcoming crossover fighting game featuring the RWBY series as well as Blazblue, Persona 4 Arena, and Under Night in Birth. So last night during the EVO 2018 games lineup reveal, Cross Tag was revealed as one of the 8 games that will feature the esports event on August the 3rd to the 5th. And before we get any further, I'm actually very glad to see Cross Tag made the cut, simply because we're going to see RWBY characters at the biggest fighting game esports event out there. That's just crazy to think about. And on a side note, I'm super pumped to see Dragon Ball FighterZ on the list as well. I'm absolutely loving the game, and it's easily the best Dragon Ball game that I've ever played, and I cannot wait to see the competition for both games in August. But back on topic, the Cross Tag announcement was accompanied with the most recent trailer that confirmed Blake as upcoming DLC for the game. However, this time, the trailer was updated, with not just confirmation of Blake again, and also confirmation of Yang also being DLC, but both girls will be completely free to download. You won't have to pay a single penny to get the Bumblebee pair in Cross Tag Battle. Now, if you haven't heard, recently this game did spark up some controversy among the fans and those interested in the game because of its DLC plans and the game's roster at launch. The initial roster will be the 20 previously announced characters, including of course RWBY and Weiss, but there will also be 20 extra characters added later on as DLC, including Blake and Yang, resulting in Cross Tag Battle launching with only half of its planned roster. This raised some concerned eyebrows by itself, and considering the game will have assets reused from earlier games, that didn't help out matters either, with many asking why they should pay more for fighters who could easily be added into the game at launch. Not to mention the issue that Team RWBY, the group that their show is named after, will require an additional payment just to get the second half of the group. 2 of the show's major characters would be behind a DLC paywall. This information did seem to sour the game's reception to some, and there was a large amount of people asking for things to change. And well, maybe those voices were heard, because even though we didn't have actual confirmation beforehand that Blake was either free or pay DLC before the backlash, that's been cleared up as you can see. And the fact that this news came alongside Yang's similar reveal does feel like a response to at least that one complaint about the RWBY girls. Now, I totally understand why Blake and Yang are still not going to be in the game's base roster. As unfortunate as it is, Arc System Works obviously will need more time to work on all the details for the girls' animations, their balancing, and so on. It's why I honestly don't see any other RWBY fighters being included beyond the 4 girls unless the game has a second batch of DLC further on down the line, because that's a lot of time and effort for a game that is most likely working on a very tight budget compared to something like Dragon Ball FighterZ or hell, even your average Blazblue game. So while I would have preferred the game coming out later in the year just to make sure that Team RWBY as a whole was there at launch, I can accept this end result, and the 2 being free DLC will help that sour pill be easier to swallow. Of course, there's still the issue regarding the rest of the DLC, and we don't know as of yet who will be added on top of what is their price and release dates. Though apparently, the grand total of the DLC plus the game won't cost more than a full price AAA game, so that's some good news. Me personally, I would say trim it down to about 14 DLC characters with Blake and Yang included, and 26 characters for the base roster, with maybe even a discount for the DLC during the first few days of release. That way those buying from the start will feel supported for buying the game now rather than months later when the roster is filled up more. but so long as the price balancing is fair, the character sets release at a pleasing rate, and we're not waiting too long on Blake and Yang, then I think that could make this conflicting situation be slightly better received, regardless of who else will be added in the game. My only other issue regarding this game is the lack of a release date for Europe. This new trailer shows the release info for Japan and Asia and North America to be May 31st and June 5th respectively, but those like me waiting for a date for the release in Europe are still waiting, and I'm a bit concerned. I do believe the game will come out in my neck of the woods, as I've heard nothing saying otherwise, and we did have the game demoed at RTX London. Plus, it would be really weird for the game to leave out other territories, considering the 4 series have released there by themselves. If it's a case of maybe they have some extra hoops that Arc System needs to jump through first in terms of the distribution or online stuff, then I'm okay. I can wait a little bit longer. I just fear because of the fact that Arc System Works have had a bad track record releasing some games in Europe, either a month later, several months later, or even in the case of Persona 4 Arena, nearly a full year after the North American release. Please Arc System Works, you've got tons of fans of the 4 series in Europe and random gamers as well who are very excited for this game and would want it as soon as possible to enjoy the game alongside their friends from across the world. Please don't leave us out on the fun. And that's it. We've got everyone's favorite Catgirl and Firecracker confirmed as free DLC, which hopefully is a promising sign for the game's future plans, and fingers crossed we'll get more good news soon enough, especially as the months go by up to the game's release and later appearance at EVO 2018. For now though, what's your take on this development, and will you give the game a second chance if you were on the fence beforehand or you lost interest? Let me know in the comments down below, and while you're at it, hit the subscribe and bell buttons to make sure you get every new video from me as they drop, and follow me on Twitter for more on all things RWBY related, updates on future content, and more. Until next time, have a good day or good night, and peace out.